Imagine we're gonna change this to a wooden material. Here in material, the point is that when you want to duplicate a material like this, for example, to have some change, for example, I can change its color, okay? When you duplicate it, the problem is that the main material will change as well. You know, it shouldn't be like this, but when you change this duplicate material, the main reference will change as well. Both of them together. So here, create new material, and I create a new material and I name it thermo, for example, as an instance. In standard situation, when you want to create a material in its appearance, which here you can have texture for it. Let me have a bigger preview. I close information. Here we can have reflectivity and also transparency, cutout to have some black and white patterns to match it with the material. Self-illumination, when you select it, your material will be a light material, and unfortunately this item used to have some problems in Revit software since 2017, and it was impossible to see the light in rendering. There are some problems about this, and here we can have bump. When we use it, we can have the texture. After that, here tint to have which color we like. When we select it, it will be in this material, but it will be combined and mixed with the main color. Right now, the yellow is mixed by gray, and it's like this. All of these things are for standard materials, but we have some special materials with different settings. Whatever you do here, all these changes will be visible in rendering. For example, when you want to have a colored material in generic, you can have the color for it. If you wanted to have texture, here in this section, image, I click on this and I can use one of these textures. For example, wood. And as you can see, it will be like this. And it's in the model like this. But as you can see, the size of the texture is too small. How I can edit it? Here in manage, I open material, and all the changes which I apply here will be applied on the model at the same time. Here I can control it. First of all, scale. Right now it's 30 in 30. It's too small. If you have the dimensions of your texture according to your model, you can control it. Here I change it to 1 meter in 1 meter and put this in tile to repeat it in the model. When I apply it, as you can see, it will be bigger. And in this section, when you unlock this, I can control the length and width manually. For example, 2. As you can see, the height will be 2. This 1 to have them wider. It will be like this. When it's locked, according to these dimensions, you can have this change. So be careful about this lock. I can control it here, done, and apply. And then the material will be stretched. And you can control the position of the material right here. You can have offset, for example, in x-axis 50 centimeter, and it will be like this. One more, for example, 70, more, 120, just a little more, and it will be like this, and its style is not visible. Here, 2, apply, it will be higher. 2 is too much. 1 meter, apply, and like this. We can use negative values for position, -20 for example, apply, and as you can see it will be in this side. Minus downward, plus upward. 1.20, this one 0, and even rotation. When I rotate it, it will be like this, as you can see. When I want to have these patterns in other direction, I can do it manually, or I can type here to rotate it. And as you can see, they will be like this. 0 rotate. Okay. If I use reflectivity, it can have reflection, but it's more obvious and visible in rendering, and oblique reflection in corners, and direct reflection, which is for the main surface. When I increase or decrease it, you will see this here. For example, right now when I change it, as you can see, it will be like this. And here we can have glossiness, and we can control it. If it's too much, it will be with too much reflection. When you increase it, it will be less. I need to wait a little to apply the change, and when I remove the reflection, it will be like this. And when I select it, even when the glossiness is really low, it's like this. But we need to check these things in rendering. Here when I click on finish, in render, I can check the appearance of my wood. Okay, here, let me check it in interactive render. For example, this is the wood without reflection, and there are some more things. For example, we can have tint. We can change its color to yellow, or which color we like, dark brown, like this. All of these things can be available. And here bump, which is really important, to have texture for the wood. And it is a black and white pattern. When it's really dark, the seams will be more. The bump should be matched with your texture, and even its size should be matched with your texture. Right now it's 1 meter and 20 centimeter, and 4 for the size and 1 for the height. So here 1.20 offset on like this, and add 4 to the width and the height 1 meter and apply. As you can see, there's a little change and it's more deep. And the amount of the texture, which I can increase or decrease it. When I increase its texture is too hard, I decrease it, and it can be normal like this with the seams and the texture of the wood. And later in Enscape and in rendering, we can see these details better. I changed this to ray trace, but bump is not really visible here. We need to have the real rendering to be able to see that. But here we can see these seams and textures, and it's not completely flat. Okay, close it, and here there are some materials with different settings, but before them, let's talk about graphic. Here in graphic, these are some new materials. I opened them. Here we have some different modes. These are visible in shading and consistent color. When you select use render appearance in shading, it analyzes the color and it considers a color for it. When I click on OK and now in shading, as you can see the color is changed. Okay, it has nothing to do with the things which you see in the rendering about that material. When I deselect this checkbox and change this color to green, after rendering, you will see that it's still the wood and that texture. It's just about the graphic in the plans and some different places which we need to highlight different elements with different colors. After that, here we have transparency. When I increase it and apply it, you will see that the material will be a little transparented, and it can be useful during designing and drawing and making some diagrams. And when I increase it like this, it will be completely transparented like a glass. Right now only the lines are visible. I decrease it and apply. And when it's 0, it will be like this. Okay, surface, pattern, background, cut pattern, and background. What are they for? When your material is used by an element like this, it has a surface. This surface can be the color or many other things. Here in East View, right here, and I change this to fine, and what it's returned. Okay, here I open the material, and when it's in foreground, right now it's in noun. When I click here, I can select a pattern for this. For example, a pattern like a wood. See what happened? This pattern is here on the surface of this element. It's a little faded, but it's visible. And we can even have a color instead of this pattern. Or we can change the color of the pattern. Or when I select solid fill here, it will be a simple color on the surface. And I can change the color here. We are using some colors which are not related to the wood. And different patterns in this list can be available. Okay. And here again, some other patterns. All of them are patterns. This one is like wood. Let me change it to black to be able to see it better. Okay. Something like this, and texture alignment can be used to be able to control it when you have it on a texture. I change it to this, then it will, let me open this. Here, texture alignment. For example, these seams, we want to control them, which right now the texture is visible here. You can control the patterns, and when I have consistent color or shaded, both of them are the same. I told you about the difference between consistent color and shaded. Okay, here we have background. It's the background of the texture. It's not visible right now, but we can control it. And again, you can have color for it. You can have textures. I'm sorry, I said texture. You can have hatch, but right now I put it in noun. And another thing which is really important here is cut pattern in foreground. It's for the cuts of the element. Here I put it in fine, shaded for example. This wall which I have here with this material which I selected for it, the brick material, here in the setting of the material, in cut pattern, I select something like this one for example, it's steel, but we can use it for a brick wall. When I select it and apply it, it will be visible like this. And the color of the material of the wall in render can be white and the lines can be black to be able to make it more visible. And right now when I zoom in, I can see this like hatched. And when I change this to coarse detail of view, it's not possible to see the color and hatch of the wall anymore for the part which is cut. But level of detail, put it in 5 to be able to see everything like hatch and the color of this section. Guys, these are the least possible amount of the information which we can have about the materials. Here in edit type, for example, in the glazing of this window, we have glass material. And as you can see, the parameters of the glass are decreased here in comparison with the standard material, which we had it before. Wait a little to be able to have the preview. The preview of a glass wall. You can have it like this and you can change it. You can select it here, a sphere or a frame like this, for example, or the fabric on this table, or curtain glass, which is like this. And environment can be changed. As you can see, some different environments, warm light in this preview, and the main mode, which is this one, and also render setting, draft quality, and production quality. It takes a little time because it's heavier, it's rendering of the material which we made here in this preview, which it makes you slow. It's better to have it in draft quality. Okay, what do we have here? Glazing, the type of the glass, it can be green or blue-green or custom. In this way we can customize it. And reflectance, to be able to control the reflection of the glass, it will be near to a mirror. And here sheets of glass, the different layers of glasses, which you can control it. Now it's like 6 layers of glass are here. Now I decrease this and change it to clear or blue, and that's it. Everything about the material of the glass. When I click on OK, the material of these windows will be changed. Here, OK. Here in this section, manage materials are here. We have some other materials like liquid materials, like water. For example, you want to design a pool, you can have it. Let me have this here. It's more normal and usual. You can have it in pool or ocean. Its color again can be changed, and pool again. And wave height, the height of the waves in this material, when I increase it, you will see that we can have some high waves. These things are available, which we can use them in different projects. And as you can see, we are covering different examples about different things to have the best results in rendering.